Hi, I'm Alex, and I came here today to stand with the protesters protesting against this horrendous bill, which very, very sadly has passed, although it was a very narrow vote. I think there's only 23 votes in it. I am here because I believe in life. I believe that we must all fight for life, and life is precious. And however hopeless the situation may seem, I think if you just look at the Esther Ransom case, she has been assessed as only having 6 months to live many times, and she's, you can go back to her tweets, her messages from, a few years ago, and yet she's still here with us. The message, I think, is we must always fight for life, and however hard it is, however much pain we're in, and I feel for people who are in pain. I almost died myself 3 years ago. I had emergency colectomy. That's I had my entire colon, my large intestine, removed in emergency surgery. And when I went into that emergency surgery, I was assessed as being more likely than not to survive, to die. And I was there. But what kept me going before then and after then, when I was recovering and I spent a month in hospital with lots of complications afterwards, was I was surrounded by my friends, I was surrounded by my family, I was surrounded by people who cared for me, and I realized and I understood from then and that how important, how precious life is, and that we must always fight for life. We must always fight for the vulnerable as well, the weak in society, because they don't always have anyone to speak for them. To the noble peers in the House of Lords, please look at how public support for the bill has dramatically fallen recently. Look how close the vote was in the Commons, as people are waking up to the real implications of what assisted suicide, this is what it is, means. We need to stand with the vulnerable and the weak and people who are very ill, and we need to have compassion for them, but we also need to realize that life is precious and we must always fight for life. You have the power to overturn that bill, you have the power to vote it down, so please do that.